edge of the unknown, where the signal cuts through the silence of the night, a voice returns, broadcasting once again from the capital city of Columbia, South Carolina. This is the return of a show that doesn't follow the rules and doesn't back away from the questions most won't even ask. Paranormal encounters, UFO disclosures, hidden history, and the mysteries that refuse to stay buried. This is Late Night in the Midlands with Mike Vara. Tonight, the signal opens again, and anything can happen once the lights go down and the phones light up. Prepare yourself, because once this broadcast begins, you may not hear what you expect, but you will hear what others are afraid to say. The show is about to begin.
Good evening or morning, depending on where you are around the world. I am Mike Vara. This is Late Night in the Midlands. We're coming at you live from the capital city, Columbia, South Carolina, located on the east coast of these United States. And tonight, we're diving into a subject that reminds us the unknown isn't always hiding in the desert or over a military base. Sometimes it's right outside your own front door. Yeah, your own front door. You know, the UFO topic has really been exploding even in mainstream lately, and so, you know, it's good to see it getting so much attention, to be honest with you. Will it matter? I don't know. I mean, I've already had disclosure myself, but you know, it'd be nice to see it officially come out too. Although it kind of has, dripping, you know, that old drip stuff. Yeah, so. Anyways, across America, and, you know, almost a happy birthday to America, that is. And around the world, ordinary people have reported extraordinary encounters, strange lights in the sky, unexplained craft, missing time, close encounters, and, well, sightings that have left witnesses asking questions for the rest of their lives. Some of them been on this show. My guest tonight has spent decades collecting these incredible stories, documenting them in his popular UFOs in Your Hometown series, proving that these encounters aren't isolated, they're happening everywhere. So joining us tonight is renowned UFO researcher and author Preston Dennett, and we'll explore some of the most compelling cases from his books. We'll discuss why these events continue to occur and ask the question, are UFOs far more common than we've been led to believe? Yeah, they are. I think so. As always, later in the program, we'll open the phones and hear what you have experienced. I'm going to open one tonight. This way I don't, I'm going to put it up on the screen and I'll leave it there. This way if a call, I missed 4 calls last night. Yeah. We don't break records with phone call. People like the portal. I get a lot through the portal, but the calls, because I haven't really done phone lines in, I don't know, it's been a little while, because ever since Skype dropped out, it's just it's a whole nother process now. So got my coffee over here. I'm sure it's nice and sizzling hot. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, 250 years. Excuse me. Anyways, we're going to bring Preston Dennett. That was hot. We're going to bring Preston Dennett on here in just a little bit. First, I want to get into a little bit of news and I don't know about discovery, maybe some discovery. You never know with these things. A Catholic nun, yes, a Catholic nun has issued a chilling warning about aliens, suggesting that many alleged extraterrestrial encounters may have a far more sinister explanation. You could probably tell where this is going. Responding to a question from a listener named Connor, she apparently has her own podcast. I wonder what she calls the Flying Nun or something. I don't know. She said she leans toward the belief that the UFO phenomena is rooted in the spiritual realm rather than in visitors from distant planets. As human beings, we have this tendency to think, well, if we can't do it, then nobody can. Just because we can't get to other planets and and go hang out for millenniums, it doesn't mean others can't. Anyway, she says, I think sooner look at the demonic side than the extraterrestrial. That's what Mother Miriam said during a recent discussion on her podcast. So, why do they get the bad rap, the demonic rap? They got 2 arms, 2 legs. They apparently got fingers, I guess toes. 2 eyes, a nose, mouth, They're smart, apparently. They must be. But yet, some think they're demons. Maybe, I don't know. I've always thought, why would a demon need a spaceship? Unless he's using it to fool you, in which case, okay, I don't know. I think I know, but do I really? You think you know. Do you really? There's always that possibility of the demonic thing, and so I got to leave that door open until we know for sure. But I personally, I wouldn't bet the farm on it. I don't think demons come from space. I think they come right here from Earth somewhere. I just look at how human beings are. I tell you, one of these days I'll tell you all about my job, and you'll understand why sometimes I just look at society and I think, oh man. Clinically dead woman meets beings. So maybe they are spiritual. And what they told her apparently was very unsettling. She was clinically dead for 20 minutes, long enough for everything to stop. But according to her, that's when something else began. She describes crossing over and being shown truths about Earth, existence, and reality that she was never supposed to understand. And what she claims to have seen is not comforting. It is deeply, deeply unsettling. More doom for the planet. Are you buying it? I'm not. One of these times someone's going to be right. It's bound to happen. I seen a video. Someone sent me a video today, and there's some guy, and if you could move out of America, you better get out of here. The racial war is going to explode. I don't feel tensions of no race. Do you? I mean, is anyone else feeling that? I don't. I think races have been just fine. I think you got to worry more about the socialist communist movement and and what kind of battles can arise from that. I don't think you got to worry about racial wars. But I mean, this guy, he was like, leave America. If you left America, where are you going? Canada? Mexico? I mean, I'm going to be nice and not say what I think, but man. Hey, a Chinese company unveils world's first full-size, mass-produced, ultra-bionic humanoid robot. I'll tell you, these things are so close to looking real. They move, they can dance, they can do the mamba. I mean, they can do it all. They can do it all. And you're gonna pay anywhere from $17,000 to over $100,000 for one of these things. I guess the $17,000 gets you probably conversations. The $100,000, oh, the $100,000 gets you all kinds of bionics. And I'll just leave it there. But so I mean, it's bound to happen. I know that Japan's been working on this forever. I guess China just passed them right up. Unless they succeeded and they just don't want to share the technology, maybe they fell in love with their robots. Chinese tech giant, it's Ubtech, recently unveiled a new line of ultra-realistic humanoid robots that feature biometric skin and advanced AI technology. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, it won't be long. It won't be long. You think depopulation? Wait till people aren't dealing with people no more. They're just going to go out and get the robot of their dreams, and she or he is going to do everything they want because they get to program them, basically. So it's going to be the perfect mate for you, and before you know it, they'll be, I guess, I don't know, what are you going to do? They'll have a little Kid Donald's or something. You'll pull up to the window, and I'll take a baby, give me some blonde hair, and some blue eyes, and, I don't know, test tubes, whatever they're doing, cloning, the robot babies, I guess. That's probably coming with it. I don't know, before you know it, you'll have a planet of robots, and humans will be wiped out. There's AI. AI takes over. How does it do it? By taking a man's heart. And a woman by the way. Yep, so they're a little bit pricey. They range between $17,000 and $145,000. You know they've already gotten 10,000 orders for these things? 10,000 orders already. That's 10,000 people who are going to be off the market. You got to see these robots, and you'll know what I mean. They look pretty good. Their skin is just such like real. Feels apparently, they were touching it. And it just looked and acted like real skin. I don't know how they keep it warm or whatever, but or do they? Anyways, moving right along. So get ready, save up, and get your robot mate. It's coming, dude. And it's only going to get better. Before you know it, they're going to walk by you on the street. You're not going to know the difference. Oh, explosive diarrhea. Yeah. It's a parasite, they say. Explosive diarrhea parasite. Sickened 170 in Michigan. Hospitalized at least 20 nationwide. Now that ain't good. That ain't good at all. You got a bunch of dehydrated people. Mexico's mystery Batman has been taping bike thieves to lampposts. A vigilante has been taking matters into his own hands by catching and taping up thieves for local police officers to find. Oh, we finally got a real Batman. and he's coming out of Mexico. It's the town of Lagos de Moreno in Mexico. It seems to become the country's answer to Gotham City. At least that is if stories about its local superhero are to be believed. So he's taping criminals to poles. According to the reports, the mysterious vigilante has been attempting to deal with a spat of motorcycle thefts in an area by going after the crooks himself. Probably only a matter of time before that does not go well. I mean, I hope not, but probably the case. Let's see. Yeah, both streams are going well. Chat's there. Yeehaw! Everything seems to be working, and so I'm going to take my break. And when I come back, I will have Preston Dennett with me, and he should be on video here tonight. Okay, yeah, I guess we're ready. So as always, folks, dim the lights, grab your favorite late night drink, settle in, and let's step into the unknown. I'll be bringing Preston on right after this break. So stay with me. This is Late Night in the Midlands on the VARA Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Do you hear them calling? Do you hear them calling? I was tuning through the silence late at night when a voice came drifting through the pale moonlight. So we've been watching, we've been here before, from the stars above to the other shore. There's a feeling deep inside you can't explain, like a distant echo calling out your name. Every signal carries secrets through the air. Something's reaching from somewhere. Oh, you can run, but you can't hide from the truth that lives inside. Signals in the midnight sky.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Here at Late Night in the Midlands, we believe in truth, awareness, and taking care of our minds and bodies. That's why I'm proud to share Mike Varas's long-standing friendship and partnership with Dr. Leonard Horowitz and his Healthy World store. Dr. Horowitz and Mike go way back. They've supported each other through the years because they share the same mission, bringing people the truth and helping them live healthier, stronger lives. His products are crafted with your health in mind, using the highest quality natural ingredients that you can feel good about putting into your body. When you shop at the Healthy World store, you're not just making a choice for your health, you're also supporting Late Night in the Midlands and the VAR network. Every purchase helps us keep the truth on the air and the conversation alive. So do something good for yourself and for independent media. Visit the Healthy World store today, and let's keep both your body and the truth strong. HealthyWorldStore.com, health for you, support for us. Just click on the Healthy World store banner on the homepage of our website, MikeVara.com.
I'm Art Bell, and you're listening to Late Night in the Midlands with Mike Vara.
Every second counts, so why not make it count in style? The Late Night in the Midlands wall clock isn't just for telling time, it's a statement piece that shows the world you support alternative media. With a sturdy wooden frame, sleek plexiglass face, and a silent mechanism, it's perfect for any room. From your home office to your favorite hangout spot. Easy to hang with a pre-installed hook and built to last, this clock blends practicality with personality. Time waits for no one. Grab yours today at MikeVara.com and make every second a part of the movement. Late Night in the Midlands. Time well spent.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
You're listening to the VARA Network. From the capital city, Columbia, South Carolina, on the east coast of these United States, you're tuned in to Late Night in the Midlands with your host, Mike Vara. To ask a question to Mike, just send your questions through the Late Night portal located on our homepage at www.mikevara.com.
Back. This is Late Night in the Midlands. I am Mike Vara. It is Friday night. And yes, we are live coming at you from the VARA Radio Network. We got a great guest coming on tonight. Love Preston Dennett. He is very knowledgeable. He's been at it for a while. Hey, get over to MikeVara.com. Become a late nighter. Be informed, and by all means, inform others. I'm going to inform you that without you, there is no us. Always need your help, so please, if you have it within your means, by all means, hit that donate button. We give it all free. Everything's just handed out, right? All we ask is, once in a while, you hit that little yellow button on the website. It helps us a lot. It really does. Helps us a tremendous amount because, every little thing you get nickel and dime. This cost, that cost, this cost, that. Before you know it, you got to take out another mortgage on the house. The problem is I don't have one to take a mortgage out on, so I need your help. Anyways, let's get to it here tonight before, the night will be over. And, we got a lot to get to here. With my guest tonight, so why don't we? All right, so I got Preston on there. I'm gonna get the video. I'll get him up on screen here. Let's see. Yeah, that can go. That can go up. Once I get him on screen, I'll bring him aboard here. Let's see. All right, there we go. And finishing touch there. Sorry, folks. It's a process. It's just a process. All right. So that being said, I've told you plenty about Preston. I'm going to bring him aboard. And Preston, welcome back to Late Night in the Midlands. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me back on. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. So the UFO phenomena is really kind of exploding in mainstream media, and even government-wise. Trump's been releasing a lot of stuff. Do you think we're finally getting there, or what?
Well, I'm not sure we're where we need to be.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it's encouraging. It was very interesting to see these 3 recent file releases. The first one was really kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
And I have to say the second one was too. I mean, it was interesting to see these videos, but we've got better footage in the public arena than what they're showing us. A lot of this is fuzzy dots and clearly drones or balloons. But the third one, I was a little bit more impressed by that one in terms of some of the file releases, where they're clearly talking about military personnel seeing metallic discs, showing interest in nuclear sites and this kind of thing.
Yeah, and admitting that they're able to activate and deactivate weaponry. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, but how long have we known this?
Oh yeah, right. We've been talking about it for decades now, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you talk to, what's his name, Robert Salas, who of course was a witness at the Malmstrom incident in 1967, there's no doubt that they were there shutting down our intercontinental ballistic missiles. So yeah, it's nice to have some sort of admission, but they're still saying that that incident didn't actually happen. So,
And that's what I really want, rather than just the videos. The videos are nice that they're releasing, but I want, how about just telling us what you know? Give us what you know. Like, I don't know, show us some kind of evidence. Show us, what do they got? If they got bodies, how about that? I've heard a lot about it. It'd be something to see one. I'd rather see it alive, but I'll take a body.
Yeah, which, given the huge number of whistleblower reports, reaching all the way back to Roswell, which is that's, 80 years now.
Yeah.
Pretty much exactly, 79 plus. They had bodies way back then, and they're still not showing them. So, yeah, let's see the bodies. Let's see the Roswell craft. To me, that's kind of the end game of disclosure. While it's nice to see this topic being discussed seriously, very nice, I feel like they're still stonewalling, basically just flat out still covering up the best evidence that we know they have. So, no, I'm jaded maybe, but...
How much you suppose the president is privy to? Like, how much... I mean, this president is probably digging where they don't want him to. But most presidents, they probably don't share too much with them, right? I mean, they might only be in there for 4 years. Or they might be, in Trump's case, they wouldn't trust him with the information because he's a releaser. He's telling people stuff.
Yeah, he is. And I like that about him.
Obama,
I think some
too.
Presidents, yeah, well, to some extent.
Well, he came in and said that that UFOs are real. He admitted it in an interview. And then Trump said, hey, that was classified information. Now I'm going to have to declassify it so he don't get in trouble. I mean, that was basically backing up what Obama said.
Yeah, well, I think if you look at each president's administration and really dig into what they've said, some definitely were in the loop. I'm talking about George Bush Sr., who was the head of the CIA.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was in the loop and definitely had access to all kinds of stuff that we would never in a million years know about. But most of the other presidents after him, I don't think so. I think your average UFO researcher probably has a better grasp of the subject than most presidents. But I'm sure, I have no doubt in my mind that they've been briefed on the subject, know that it's real, know that they've been kind of shut out of the loop. So I think it's a pretty hot potato right now.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see some of these people in Congress really pushing for disclosure. I really like what Tim Burchett is, talking about. Anna Paulina Luna. That name is a mouthful, but yeah, she seems to be working hard to get some truth out. Kirsten Gillibrand. There's a few of them who seem to really want to get movement with this subject, so I'm encouraged.
Yeah, right. And, and then it brings me to wonder about the stories we've heard about how the aliens have made deals with the government. I don't know about that. I mean, it's, I'm sure they know more than they're telling us, of course, but I mean, how much more? I mean, if they were like buddy with them, I don't know. It's like,
I highly doubt it, honestly. Yeah, I mean, we've all heard the story about the 1954 meeting at Edwards Air Force Base.
Yeah.
And as far as I can track, this is where that, and I'll call it a rumor, and I tracked it, I think, pretty much down to John Lear, is the one who kind of started that. If you look into his history, it's a little bit spotty. And he says a lot. He says a lot of things that are like definitely going to raise an eyebrow or two.
He blew me off my seat when he was on my show with some of the things he was basically saying. You could get in the moon, get in the driver's seat, and drive it away. And I'm like, really? I mean, some of the things he said, if they are true, boy, they're just so hard for me to grasp.
Yeah, I mean, he released a inflammatory statement that was, in my opinion, my assessment, filled with disinformation and fear-based nonsense. Honestly, I do think the Eisenhower meeting happened. I don't think for 1 second that ETs handed over technology in exchange for allowing onboard experiences to take place. Because we have cases that were occurring long before that, and ETs know, we all know, that our governments weaponize every single bit of technology they get their hands on. Not a chance that the ETs would hand anything over to such a corrupt government.
Yeah.
I don't find that credible. And that's speculation, but I can tell you from a contactee angle, having interviewed contactees, and I will reference my favorite, Dolly Safran. I wrote a book about her called Symmetry. She asked about this, and they said flat out, no, that did not happen. That's disinformation.
Yeah, there's plenty of that out there. I mean, through the years, since I've started this show, I mean, I've heard some amazing things. I'll say amazing. But and some of it turns out, could be true. But then some of it, I mean, I've had some, I've had some out there shows. I had one lady who said she was Dolly the sheep, and it just tells you where people's minds go.
What?
Yes,
okay.
She was Dolly the sheep, and she was used in the experiment, and I'll tell you, and she believed it too. I had one on one night, Preston. She said she was being mind controlled by some general. And I not kid you, I'm not trying to be nasty here, but she starts moaning and groaning on the show, talking about, he makes me have orgasms during radio. So I gotta let you go then. It's like, yeah, we can't be doing that here. But it's crazy.
Yeah, well, there was a recent hearing, or rather a news report about MK Ultra mind control. I don't know if you saw that, but that was kind of interesting to hear them talking about something we as UFO researchers have known about for years.
Yeah.
So there is information coming out, but the nonsense in this field, the fear-based, people pushing fear-based narratives, complete lies and disinformation.
No, I know. It's like I was just talking about how, a lot of people say, well, they're demons, and, and that, I don't know as though that's disinformation. I think that's just kind of a belief system that's gone, that's just what they think. But, that's dangerous. I mean, if you're an ET and you do land here and you got a group of people who think you're a demon, you may not be too safe. So no wonder they don't land, right?
Yeah, well, I addressed that because that is a popular sort of theory that's running around, particularly among people who are religious. And I respect people who have religion. I think we have that right.
Yeah.
But if you look at this subject objectively and not through the lens of your belief system, I think we can easily dismiss that theory because it does not account for the evidence. And while I think such things as demonic hauntings are real, there's no way that you can explain the fact that people are being taken on board a craft together, multiple people, being healed, being implanted, being taken to places. Demonic spirits don't need a spacecraft to fly around. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
That's what I said. It's like, what would a demon need a spacecraft for? And it's and someone suggested, well, it's to deceive you. Well, there's many ways they could deceive me. They don't need a spacecraft to do it. I mean, you might scare me with that. So
Yeah, I mean, if they were going to deceive you, would they really take you on board and start warning you about the dangers of nuclear proliferation? Or would they tell you, no, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. You know what I mean? And let's face it, let's just talk very briefly from a religious angle. People talk about them being fallen angels. Well, if you research religion, only 1/3 of the angels fell. 2/3 did not. So that would mean that you're twice as likely, well, 3 times as likely, that you're encountering angelic beings as opposed to demonic. So to call every being beyond Earth demonic is a stretch at best.
it is, and I always say, I've no ET has done anything wrong to me, but I could tell you a lot of stories about human beings who have. So I don't know. I think that there's a place for demons. I just don't think it's outer space.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I've actually researched some pretty hairy hauntings.
Yeah.
People, messing around with a Ouija board or
Yeah.
these kinds of things, and they ended up having what I would label as a demonic haunting, and it follows a pretty set pattern. I've got all the books on it. It's nasty. It usually starts out with knockings on the walls, footsteps, cold spots, noxious odors. Usually picks on one person in the house who might be particularly vulnerable in some way.
Yeah.
Perhaps they're depressed, perhaps they've got a drug addiction, whatever. But it escalates pretty quickly, and it's very tricky because they will manifest only to one person, and all the other people in the house will think this person is crazy until suddenly it goes to the next level. It's first infestation, and then it moves to oppression, and it really starts to work hard to destroy a person's life. And it can. There are people who ended up really having a tough time with this.
I've seen stories. They'd go after the strong one too, like the husband, the mom, the dad. So they'd go after the dad, get him drinking. Before you know it, he's become abusive, and he's drinking and driving. And he's just doing all these things he wouldn't normally do. And then I've heard a bunch of these stories. I used to watch what was it? I think it was called Haunting, maybe. And there were some good stories on there, and it seems like they go after the weakest, but they go after the strongest too, to try to break them down. I don't know.
I mean, at one point it tries to attack everybody.
Yeah.
Of course, we all heard the story of the Amityville horror, and whether or not that's actually true, of course, there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. But in its particulars, that sort of thing does happen to people. I've interviewed a number of them. It was amazing when I read that book. I'm like, well, yeah, check. This is exactly what happened to a lady I interviewed in Reseda, a number of people. I investigated a case of haunted apartments in Van Nuys, California. And yeah, it was bad.
I lived in a haunted apartment, and people hear when I told the story, and I've told it many times, it's like, I don't care if anyone believes me or not. I know, and it opened my eyes where I now know for a fact that there's this other realm. I don't know what it is. I can't pretend that I know, but I know it's there, and there's people there, and some of them aren't very nice.
Yeah. The evidence for ghosts is, in my mind, conclusive, because these reports go back thousands of years. The UFO phenomena, in terms of it being studied seriously, maybe 80 years or so. We know reports go much farther than that, but studies of ghosts go so far back. I mean, there's just no way that you can explain this away as anything other than what it is.
Yeah, and I really do hope that it's not all some simulation or imagination or what have you, and I hope that when we do die that there is this other place we go. I believe there is. I've had visitations, but again, I've had guests on who've been pretty convincing about being in a simulation, and I don't know.
That gets under my skin, Mike. I mean, I kind of get it. It all started after the Matrix movies that this series really started to get traction, and like it's a simulation. It's the Matrix.
Yeah, it's like when Rocky came out, all the kids were going out there wanting to box somebody. They all thought they were championship fighters. But yeah, these movies influence people. But the Matrix definitely influenced that. Yeah,
it did. And I've looked at these theories that people put forth, and it's entirely speculative. It's not based on any actual evidence. The world exists independent of us. We did not create it. So it's really hard to debate people who are, like flat earthers. I kind of put that in that category, with all due respect to people who are pushing the Matrix theory.
Yeah.
I would really suggest they just study basic science, because science has really advanced our knowledge tremendously. And we're starting to lose that in education in, public schools.
Well, we're definitely losing it there, and and then everything's going digital too. I worry about that, because one day you can get a fart from the sun, and everything's lost.
Exactly. Yeah. CME, coronal mass ejection.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be, and it's coming. I'm convinced.
I think it was a year, maybe 2 years ago, there was a big one, but we were lucky that it went on the other side of the sun. It didn't go our way. If it was a different time of the year, we would have been right there, we would have got it. And so much for your PlayStation 5s and your cell phones. And
well, it's really interesting you say that, because a lot of contactees have been told to watch out for this. And I know a lot of contactees, and it's amazing to see how many of them have gotten this message, and they're moving off grid, they're saving food, they're ready to some extent that they can be.
There's
not always easy to be off grid.
They claim there's a nearby star that has gone supernova, and we're going to see a new bright star in our sky for a short period of time. And you got to wonder, can energy come from something like that? You never know. We think we know, but do we really know everything? Something like that, it explodes out there. Who knows?
Yeah, it definitely could affect us in a number of ways, but I do think we have the science to say that our own sun is going to, at some point, micronova. And I would point to Ben Davidson's Space Weather Observers channel. He's doing some really good study on this. So I think that's something to research.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about UFOs in your hometown. It's a series, right? And give me a little insight on it.
Yeah, this was something that was born out of a challenge over a year ago, I think now, where someone said, could you possibly look up to see if there's any UFOs in my hometown? And it was some obscure little town. And I thought, you know what, I bet I could find something there. And of course I did. And it just gave me this idea, like, wow, what if every single location on this planet has been visited? And how would you go about proving that? So what I did is I put out a challenge to the people who watch my YouTube channel. And I said, name a town. Name your hometown. I don't care if it's big or small. I bet you I can find an encounter there. And the responses started coming in, slow at first, but now it's well over 1,000. I've produced, let's see, almost 20 episodes, 18, where I cover various locations all over the planet, not just the United States. I mean, one guy sent me this village up in the Arctic Circle, some Eskimo village. He was so sure he was gonna stump me, and I found one case. I found one. But yeah, this is so interesting because people are sending me all these little towns, and I still find cases there. And it's not just sightings, it's landings, it's close encounters of the second kind, third kind, in some cases humanoids, onboard encounters, even some cases of what look like UFO crashes and this sort of thing. Photographs, landing traces. It is so interesting because this has such profound implications.
Yeah.
So if it's true that every location on this planet has been visited, there's some really important takeaways from this. And one being, first off, that UFO encounters are far, far, far more common than previously believed. And we know this because ask any UFO researcher, how often do people report their UFO case? I would be very generous in saying it's 1 in 10, because it's really not. It's 1 in 50, maybe 1 in 100. And if you saw humanoids, probably you're not going to tell anybody, even your own family in many cases. So essentially, you can multiply the known number of cases by at least 10 or 100.
Yeah, I know. You know, I've had several sightings, and I never called anywhere to report them. I mean, but I talked about them on air, but you know, online and stuff like that. But I didn't really, like one of them I did call the airport, asked them if they'd seen anything, and of course they didn't know what I was talking about. And I called the military base nearby, and they actually hung up on me. So,
oh my God,
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I mean, what NUFORC, the National UFO Reporting Center in MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, historically throughout the decades, we've gotten anywhere from 10 to 20 cases per day, which is a lot. So times that by 10. Now that's 100 cases per day. And again, you can times it by 100, which would be 1,000. So the point is, it's far more common. Now, here's the question: what does that mean?
Yeah.
Or why is every single place on this planet being visited? I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say that this is purely a study of our planet, because towns are adjacent to each other. You could go to one town and learn all you need to know about that certain area, and you would have to visit the adjacent town. But what I think we're looking at here, and I think what these cases are showing us, is that it's not just a study, though I think that does happen. I think what we're looking at is a very vigorous and well orchestrated publicity campaign on the part of the ETs to essentially announce their presence. And it's been very successful. Everyone knows what a UFO is.
Yeah, and that would make sense to me, because I was just talking about this with another guest not too long ago. I said, it's not like they're trying to hide themselves. I mean, people see them all the time. There's sightings every day, and sometimes mass sightings where a lot of people see. I've had sightings, and I've had it with other people, so it's not like I'm crazy or anything. And so and they didn't they sit there and they play with you sometimes. They'll pop behind a cloud, come back out, almost like they're playing games with you. They know you see them, and they're having fun with you. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I mean, sometimes they're evasive. They're coming down, they're picking someone up, and off they go, and almost nobody sees it. It's one of the reasons people say, well, I was there and I didn't see a UFO, so you must be lying. Well, they have the ability to hide themselves very effectively. But then you have cases like the Withville, Virginia wave, which actually I think was probably reverse engineered, but there's been huge waves of sightings all over the world. I would point to the French wave of 1954, which no way was that us, because these things were landing, little humanoids were getting out. Through October, November, there was about 200 sightings of just humanoids and well over 3,000, 4,000, not exactly sure how many, but sightings over a 2-month period. So that you can't tell me that wasn't a display. And that happened on the heels of that. This is so interesting, Mike. I found out that Venezuela, throughout November and December and January through 1955, had that same kind of activity. I mean, literally, people were rushing out into the streets and seeing this stuff. And this Venezuelan wave is virtually unknown, here in the United States at least.
Yeah.
But every country has had a wave of this kind. Ours came in at least 3 of them that I can think of. The second week of November 1957. Also, throughout 1965, there was a massive wave, but really 1973, late 1973, it's called the Year of the Humanoids. That's when the Hickson-Parker case took place in Pascagoula, Mississippi. So many amazing cases involving humanoids just through October and November. So yeah, they're putting on a publicity campaign. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, and I'm a little tired of hearing, well, we don't know if they're the Russians or the French, or if the Russians don't know if it's us. It's like, if they had that kind of technology, do you think they'd be letting anyone bully them around? They'd be using it. I mean, you're going to tell me if Russia had flying saucers that could do the things these crafts can do? Oh man, they'd be out there. They'd be telling us, hey, you guys better watch your step, because I just don't see them hiding it like that. I mean, what are you hiding them for?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they don't want to play their hand quite yet. You know what? Honestly, I think is going on is that the superpowers, as we think of them, do have this technology and are working together. And all these wars and so-called conflicts, yeah, they're real, but they're orchestrated. And I mean, we've got companies that sell weapons to both sides.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's all about greed, power, control. So I don't know. We're in a sticky situation where there's some really corrupt people with an enormous amount of influence and power, and I'm not going to blame what we would call government. By that I mean the legislature, Congress, and so forth, the judicial branch, and the executive branch. That's not who's running the country. It's this cabal of people who are not huge in numbers, apparently, but have their feelers in everything. It's the military-industrial complex is what it is. It's the intelligence agencies.
I'm wondering sometimes, I mentioned this the other night, what if a past civilization on this planet, I think there's enough evidence that there was intelligent civilizations before us here. And I'm not talking Neanderthal. I think it goes deeper than that, further back. And so what if they created AI and, and these guys were programmed to do whatever they're doing? And, what if they're the ones abducting people? What if that's what it is? What if they're doing what they're programmed to do, save the human race? They're taking people and doing tests and all this because maybe they're programmed to do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. I have no doubt that people are being taken on board by ETs, and in a sense to protect them. I think that's one of the main reasons people are being taken on board is healing, and that's not speculation. We can demonstrably prove this, and given warnings and so forth. But then we have the other aspect, which is my labs, which I think our government is also doing this and targeting genuine contactees, kind of turning them to the dark side, making them hate ETs, fooling them, absolutely doing nefarious things using technology that is far beyond our own understanding here in the public arena, but psychotronics, so to speak, hypnosis, drugs, and all kinds of everything in their power to basically fool people into thinking that they've had this horrible ET encounter.
Yeah, you know, maybe this is really, as some had said, it's a prison planet, and maybe they're the prison guards, and they're going to all corners of the planet because they're making sure we're behaving. But are we? We're really not behaving. So, I don't know. I doubt it. I think they're obviously peaceful because they haven't done anything. Why they abduct people, I don't know, and I don't think they're the only ones that abduct people. I think there's far more because people have claimed to see humans and ETs on some of these ships when they were abducted. So
Well, humans are ETs. There's some that look just like us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I don't even like that term abduct anymore because I get in trouble when I use it when I'm interviewing people.
Yeah.
So I long ago stopped using that. I call them onboard experiences. People tell me that they were invited on board. Yeah, it's often and usually very scary for people in the beginning. And there's a sense of loss of control and fear of unknown, sense of violation. And it's very, very difficult. But ultimately, when people face that, really investigate their encounters, look into it, most, and I'm not going to say all, because certainly I'm not going to gaslight people who are like, my encounter was terrible and I hated it.
Yeah.
I get it. But often what I see this pattern where people realize, okay, I'm still here. They actually healed me of arthritis or gallstones or kidney stones.
Man, I got to get on one of them ships.
Right?
Yeah.
But people will have their psychic abilities basically awoken. They'll have a mini enlightenment. ETs will give them all kinds of information about their personal lives and the world in general. So, no, I don't think they're here to hurt, harm, or take over. And I think the first-hand cases speak very strongly to that. And that we've got a really good handle on what the ET agenda is.
And I want to talk about that in a second. But I mean, I can't imagine that every ET race out there or whatever they're all good. They got to be kind of like, I look at the human race, we got good humans, but we got some really rotten ones too. So I would think, what keeps rotten ETs from coming and saying, oh, no, we're taking this?
Yeah, well, from what I understand, people who are at that level ethically and morally are at that same level technologically.
Okay.
They're not advanced. They're very much like us, stuck on their planet and have to work through all of these issues before they can travel freely throughout the universe.
We're never going to be traveling freely then, because I can't imagine a time when everybody's in harmony on this planet. That'd be beautiful, but I just don't see it. But of course I wouldn't right now.
It's frustrating, isn't it? Because we have enough resources.
Yeah.
There's enough food. There really is. There's no need to have these conflicts. It's amazing to me when you think about how much money we spend on defense and weaponry.
Yeah.
Billions upon billions upon billions. When really, if they were to take those billions of dollars and just start using it to build other countries and feed other countries and just bring it all together, we wouldn't even need to have a military. Because why would we? Everyone's got everything they could possibly need.
Yeah, well, one of these days you might have AI calling all the shots, and we might not have a military anywhere no more. It might just be these little things flying around zapping you if you get out of line.
Hey, I'm ready to worship our alien overlords.
Yeah.
I'm only being facetious, but honestly, I think they could do a hell of a lot better than we're doing, but they're not going to, because contactees have asked this. Why don't you just come down? You've got all this technology, you've got healing abilities. We're starving here. There was a case, and I love this case, involving two teenagers in Lake Champlain in 1967, thereabout. And they were taken on board. The girl didn't remember a whole lot. She did. She verified the case, but he remembered everything. At one point, he asked them, we're starving down here. People are dying. Why can't you help us? And the ET told him, if we were to do that, the consequences would be much worse. And I've heard this many times in slight variations, but the idea is that we have to learn to solve our own problems. Every parent knows this. If you tie your child's shoe till they're an adult and then kick them out of the house, they're gonna be lost. They will not be able to do a darn thing. They have to learn how to cook, they have to learn how to dress themselves, clean themselves, get a job, all the things. We're all responsible for what's going on here. We all share some culpability.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what the ETs have said.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'm anxious for the landing. I'm anxious to, to talk to one of them guys. That'd be the greatest interview right there. The next best thing would be a ghost. I'd like to sit both of those down and my career would be complete. That'd be good. Those are the things I need to know. Yeah.
From what I understand, there are people who've gone to live with the ETs. I investigated a case.
Really?
That seems to point towards that. There was a group of about 6 young men, 18 to 22, and this was back in 1978, I believe. They would go to a cabin in Palm Springs. One of their parents owned a cabin. So they'd go up there on weekends and just hang out, hike, drink beers, and just mess around like that. And one of them, I know his full name, I'll just use his first name. His first name is Paul. I interviewed one of the guys there. His name is Tony. And so they're all up there, and Paul's like, I'm going to take a walk. I'll be back, in 20 minutes. Well, 2 hours go by, and he hasn't come back. It's getting real late. So they were getting ready to form a search party to find Paul when he shows up, and he is absolutely shocked. He says, you're not going to believe it, guys. I came upon this UFO. It was landed at the base of this cliff, a few miles away. I walked up to it. There were people around it. Not people like you would think of it, but probably, he described basically hybrids, half human, half gray. He said they looked very much human, except they were bald and had large, dark eyes and very pale skin. They were all wearing white jumpsuits. They invited him on board. There was almost nothing in there. They said, we're studying this environment, and talked to him very briefly and told him at the end of this conversation that if you'd like, you can come with us. And he said, no, I don't think so. I said, okay, well, we're going to be here next year on this day. So if you change your mind, come back and you can come with us. So this is the story he told, and his friends were like, oh yeah, you're lying, blah, blah, blah. And Tony, the guy I interviewed, knows Paul pretty well. And he could tell Paul was not lying. He's not the jokey type. And he was shook up. So Paul told him this story in detail. Well, long story short, a year goes by almost, and Paul starts giving away his stuff. And this, of course, causes concern with his friends. And Tony asked him, are you planning on going out there? What's the deal? And Paul's like, yeah, I'm going to go out there. And Tony asked him, are you going to go with them? He said, I don't know. Maybe, probably not. But he went out there, drove up alone, and did not come back. So after 3 or 4 days, Tony, the guy I interviewed, a couple of his friends and Paul's parents drove up to this cabin, and they found his car, and the keys were in it, and they never found him. They called the police filed a missing persons report, police interviewed the parents, every one of the kids, who all told this story. And said, listen, this is what Paul told us. None were accused of murder or anything like that, like in the Travis Walton case.
Yeah.
But no, they never found him. So I have to think, maybe he's with the ETs.
There's a lot of missing people that are never found. I mean, a lot, right? So I wonder how many get that opportunity to go. And for me, it depends. I'd say, do you have any pictures of your planet? And, can I see a few things? And I'd have to have some information before. But if I can go, and they're going to come back next year and I can come back, well, then that's different. If you believe what they tell you, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of missing people. David Paulides is really the expert on that. And I've got some questions about the way he puts out his conclusions, because you really can't prove that someone was taken by ETs unless you actually saw them go into, because there's a million reasons people disappear.
Yeah.
I mean, the wilderness is a very large area on this planet. People don't realize how much wilderness there is, and you can go missing in an area and never be found.
Oh yeah.
It's not at all unusual, and there are wild animals, falls, people intentionally go missing, and frankly, there's nefarious elements on this planet, humans, and trafficking and this sort of thing, which I think is probably the biggest culprit here.
Yeah.
Or just plain out, bad actors, people, rubbing each other out, so to speak. So there's a lot going on here that I think we need to be very careful for concluding, people are being taken by reptilians and eaten. No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I've never been one for that. I had a guy used to come in my chat room and all the time, oh no, they're getting ready to eat us. And I always joked with them, but I mean it too. It's like, well, if they wanted to eat us, wouldn't they feed us better? I mean, if we have cattle or whatever, don't we try to feed them good because we're going to eat them? Unless they like the junk we put in our bodies, but I don't know. I never.
Yeah, I saw that Twilight Zone episode. It's a cookbook.
Yeah, it's a cookbook. Yeah.
I loved that episode, by the way, but is it true? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, if they were going to eat us, what are they waiting for? It's like, I don't know. If I got an appetite, I try to cook and eat, and what are they going to wait hundreds of years to eat us for what? So it just don't make sense. Although some say that that's where the missing people might be. They're eating them, but I doubt it. Human soup, just don't sound good to me. Yeah.
No, it's more fear-based, speculation and disinformation. That's my assessment. Because, like I said earlier, we've got a good handle on why people are being taken on board. And if you look at the research of people like John Mack and Barbara Lamb, and just now point to the researchers who are objective, because some are a little fear-based and some rely heavily on hypnosis. In my own research, I would say about 10, maybe 20% of the people have undergone hypnosis. But I've shied away from it because, not that I don't think it doesn't work, I'm convinced it does. In the wrong hands, it can be very unreliable. This has been proven. Done correctly, we know it works. But yeah, there's just controversy surrounding it, so I basically stayed away from it.
Because people could plant thoughts in your head too.
Yeah, it's possible to lead a witness.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that based on my research, and again, I'll point to Barbara Lamb and John Mack and a few others, Edith Fiore, we know why people are being taken on board. I'm really glad I met Dolly Safran. I wrote a book about her called Symmetry, because it did fill in some of the questions I had. But as I mentioned earlier, we know for sure that healing is one of the reasons, because people are taken on board and they describe this room in very much medical terms. They're laid out on a table and examined. It's the single most common thing people experience. Thomas Bullard is the first researcher to do a statistical study on onboard experiences. And he found that that was the one experience that varied the least. And this is when people get healed. And it's not uncommon. According to Edith Fiore's statistics, she did a statistical study of her cases. She said 50% of the people she worked with were healed. And that was what the FREE study, headed by Ray Hernandez and others, found.
Oh yeah, Ray.
My own files is closer to 30% maybe, but definitely cases come from every single major researcher out there. And that includes David Jacobs, who doesn't really like ETs that much.
Yeah,
But we know that's one of the reasons people are taken on board. It's undeniable. It's demonstrably provable. So that's absolutely one of their agendas. Another for sure is warning, because in case after case after case, and I don't care if it's grays or mantids or human looking or little blue beings or hairy dwarves or tall whites or what have you, mantids, the message is the same. It's exactly the same. And it has been since at least the 1950s. And that is, stop using nuclear weapons. Stop using nuclear material in any capacity.
Yeah.
You're on the pathway to self-extinction. So that's not so bad. They're warning about greed and corruption.
Yeah, they've shut them off. They've turned the nuclear weapons off. Yeah.
So what does that tell you? This is one of their agendas. Warning and informing and teaching people. Over and over again, it's the same darn message. That's not something demons do. We know that. So that's another absolute agenda. And here's another, and this is kind of interesting. If you look at the contactee population, they've got something in common that is almost the rule rather than the exception. And that's that they're profoundly psychic. So you will see that contactees, almost without exception, have experienced astral projection, mediumship, hands-on healing, levitation, clairvoyance, precognition, all of this stuff. And ETs talk about this as well. They are waking up our psychic abilities. They're facilitating this. Telepathy, that's another one. So this is something that they're trying to do to raise our moral, ethical, and psychic awareness, because that's where we're lacking, and that's why we're having so much trouble on this planet.
Yeah.
So there's another agenda that's, not speculation. This is demonstrably provable. I'll use that term. I think that's fair enough, because if you look at the cases, this is exactly what people are reporting. So I hear all these wild speculations. Oh, they're interdimensional demonic beings. I'm like, well, hold on a second. The rest from the future? I don't think so. We know why they're here. And all in all, it's very good news for humanity, because we're on an unsustainable pathway towards self-destruction in so many.
Well, we're a destructive being. I mean, that's self-destructive. Look at what we do. I mean, smoking's bad for your health. What do people do? They smoke. This is bad. Anything that is bad for people, they'll do. And that includes creating bombs that could blow up the planet you live in. That's the human race for you. I got a question came through from text, which I usually don't get, but I'd like to ask your guest's opinion on Anka and Basher. You know what he's...
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Daryl Anka is a man who does channeling of an entity called Bashar. I studied a lot of channeling, and ultimately I kind of stepped away from it because the messages are very generalized and very... it's not bad. It's not bad stuff they're saying. But it's hard to really sink your teeth into it in terms of anything concrete. my mom said, don't say, if you don't have anything nice to say about someone, don't say anything at all. I don't want to go there, but some of the stuff he's saying, I'll put it this way, doesn't align with my own research. And I'm very skeptical of some of the predictions being put forth. So, and that's the best way I can politely put it. I did actually get a reading from him when I was a young man, and before he was very well known. There was just maybe a crowd of, let's see, about 20 of us, and you had to sort of raise your hand and get a reading from him. And finally he picked me and said, are you involved in UFOs? I thought, oh, well, that's kind of interesting, because I was not well known. I'd written a few articles. That's about it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And he said, well, you're here to help anchor the ET energy. I'm like, okay. And he said, do you get headaches? Well, no, I don't. In fact, I almost never get headaches. Only time I ever get headaches is if I'm in the car for 20 hours.
Yeah.
So that was a huge miss. I don't know. The channelers have this weird kind of, it's funny, I went to a bunch of them, and I studied it intensely. And they're all kind of saying the same things. It's interesting. I think it's worth taking a look at, but everyone needs to make up their own minds about it.
Yeah. Well, I've had psychics on the show. I've had there's been a few that have blown me away, and then there's others. I mean, I could see what they're doing. Somebody will call in, and as soon as they get on the phone with the psychic, they start feeding information to them, and they don't even realize they're doing it. And and these people feed on it. And I've noticed it a couple of times, and I would interrupt the call and say, don't tell them you're giving up too much information. So just tell her, what are you calling for, and keep it simple. They'll say, well, my grandfather died 20 years ago, and I really want to talk to him. Oh man, your grandfather's coming through. It's like, if you didn't tell her that you wanted to talk to your grandfather, you think your grandfather would have come through? So
yeah. I spent a year or two going to various psychics, and I have to tell you, it's absolutely real.
It is real.
A good one.
Yeah.
I was amazed. I mean, one lady who wasn't even talking to me personally, she was talking to my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law says, do you have anything for my brother-in-law? And she paused and she said, well, he should try astral projection. I think he'd be really good at it. I had just started having some major OBEs. And she said, what's with him and shipwrecks? There's something there, because I have every shipwreck book you can get your hands on. I'm obsessed. So, and yeah, I've had some real good hits with psychics. It's amazing to me when they're, and then you can tell when ones are fishing for information.
Yeah.
They're very general, like, oh, I see a J names. Do you know anyone whose name begins with J?
Yeah.
Oh, who doesn't?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or I've got a male gentleman who's coming through. Did you recently lose a father? Well, it's an older gentleman. Maybe it's your grandfather. No, my grandfather's still alive. Well, I was like, well, if you're connected to him, why don't you just ask him who he is?
Good point.
Yeah, what are we guessing for? So, yeah. So, but I've had some who nail it. I mean, absolutely nail it, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah, I've seen him at work, and I've had a few events, well, more than a few, of precognition myself and visions and stuff.
Yeah, me too. Not visions for me, but I've just stuff come to me, and it's like, it don't happen all the time, but when it does, it's like, holy cow.
It's awesome. I love it.
It is. All right, Preston, hang on with me for a minute. I want to take a break, then we'll come back. I got some listener questions for you, and we'll give you the floor, and we'll finish things up here tonight. Folks, if you want to get a question, and you could do it through the portal, as some of you already know, which is on my website, MikeVara.com. The other way is if you want to call. I'll go ahead and open that when I come back. I'll give you the number on the return, all right? So Hang on with me. This is Late Night in the Midlands. I am Michael Vara. I have Preston Dennett with me, and we're talking about our space brothers and sisters. They're here, folks. We'll be right back. It's Friday night.
Late Night in the Midlands with Mike Vara. When the world goes quiet and the clock strikes 12, there's a voice on the airwaves calling out from somewhere else. Static in the darkness whispers through the night, tuning into something just beyond the light. Footsteps in the hallway, but nobody's there. Lights flicker slowly. Is someone aware? You feel it in your bones. Yeah, you can't deny. Something's watching from the sky. Late night in the Midlands. Don't close your eyes. Truth hides in shadows between the lines from UFOs.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
I'm Art Bell, and you're listening to Late Night in the Midlands with Mike Vara.
Tune in to Late Night in the Midlands with host Mike Vara, Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on the VARA network.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
Use promo code LNM for a free month of service and help support this radio station while giving yourself some of the best service you can ask for.
Start your day with Late Night in the Midlands coffee. Small batch roasted in the USA for bold, fresh flavor. Choose from smooth decaf, rich radio blend with notes of dark chocolate and caramel, or bright Columbia single origin with citrus and melon tones. Available whole bean or ground in 12-ounce bags. Order now at micavara.com. Late Night in the Midlands coffee. Every sip has a story. Start your day with Late Night in the Midlands coffee. Small batch roasted in the USA for bold, fresh flavor. Choose from smooth decaf, rich radio blend with notes of dark chocolate and caramel, or bright Columbia single origin with citrus and melon tones. Available whole bean or ground in 12-ounce bags. Order now at micavara.com. Late Night in the Midlands coffee. Every sip has a story.
The search is over. You found us. You're listening to The Last Frequency.
You're listening to the VARA network.
I closed my eyes and drifted far beyond the room, floating through the silence, beyond the fear and gloom.
A psychic saw tomorrow, a view across the sea.
From the capital city, Columbia, South Carolina, on the east coast of these United States, you're tuned in to Late Night in the Midlands with your host, Mike Vara. To ask a question to Mike, just send your questions through the Late Night portal located on our homepage at www.mikevara.com.
Hidden worlds
Waiting for us to find. Beyond the veil, beyond the lights, beyond the boundaries of the night. Dreamers and believers searching endlessly beyond the veil.
What could be?
Do 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 do.
All right, back we are on this Friday night. This is Late Night in the Midlands. We're live, coming at you live from the Vara Radio Network. And, well, out of Columbia, South Carolina, the capital city that is. We've had a pretty interesting night here. Great conversation with guest Preston Dennett. Now, folks, Taylor, I don't know if you're listening, guy, but I can't keep going on the phone. So if you want to call in, and you may, but I can't. Like, I just can't be distracted with the cell phone, because that's what it'll do. It'll distract me. I usually turn it off, but I haven't, because I was waiting for my son to get a hold of me. But anyways, you know, sometimes when you got kids, you can't just turn your phone off. But let's see here. The number is 803-766-1394. 803-766-1394. If you do call in with a question, not a storybook, because we don't have a whole lot of time left. The website is MikeVara.com. You can go on over to that website. There's plenty to do there. Sign up for the newsletter, subscribe, donate. Check out the news articles or stories or whatever you find there. There's plenty. And also support our sponsors. Patriot Mobile, great company, doing great things, you know, and very affordable. I love them myself. So you know, go check that out. My Patriot Supply, you know, you want to get food stores, especially if you believe, you know, what a lot of people are telling us, that, you know, all these disasters are going to be happening. Well, if that's the case, then you might want to have a little something to eat, right? So there's My Patriot Supply. Go on the website, buy it off of there. It helps us. We get a few pennies. And go to the store. We got a store. And grab yourself a Late Night in the Midlands t-shirt, a hat, you know, something, coffee cup. It's all there for you. Appreciate you. And now let's get back to it with Preston Dennett. Let's see, a few buttons here and a few buttons there. Yes, we go. Okay. Preston, back we are. And let me give you a question here from... Well, it doesn't say who. Let's see here. It says, have you ever received a report from my home state of North Carolina that really stood out? Oh, I'm sure you have.
Oh, yeah. If you go to my hometown episodes, I've covered a bunch of stuff in North Carolina. There was a really good researcher there, George Fawcett, and he did fantastic research uncovering cases in that area. I think this one was from North Carolina. I can't give you the exact location because I don't remember, but I'm pretty certain. This guy was driving along and pulled over with another trucker along the highway because this UFO was pacing them and getting closer and closer, and finally just stopped right next to the highway. 50 feet up maybe. And sure enough, they could see these little humanoid silhouettes that were not human, probably grays, considering that they had very large heads, just sitting there looking down at them. And they stayed there for like 10 minutes or so and ultimately drove off. That was one of, gosh, there's got to be 100 cases that I've covered in North Carolina.
Yeah.
There was another in Mount Airy. Yeah, Mount Airy, North Carolina, where a lady kept hearing this buzzing noise and her dog was freaking out. And finally she looks out the window and there's this UFO. It's hovering not too far away from her house. It has this transparent section to the craft. They don't always have windows as we would think of it. It can kind of turn the walls transparent. And there were these little guys inside just looking down at her. A lot of cases like that. I'm trying to think of others, but they're mostly just sightings.
Yeah.
The ones that are coming to my mind, which are interesting. Don't get me wrong. I think every case has something to offer, but I'm so much more interested in the humanoid cases or
Yeah.
the onboard cases.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are people, I envy them. They've been on a ship. I mean, they've interacted with these beings. I mean, it may be scary, but I would do it because you may never get a chance for something like that. Even if I never came back again, at least I'd die knowing, right? So, yeah, it's that important to me, you know, with the whole ET thing and the life after death. You know, those are two things I would step out on the plank to prove. You know, it's just
Yeah, well, you can do the life after death thing. Just study astral projection.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of literature out there. If you go to my website and email me, I can provide you with a little guide, 2 pages, on how to do it.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. I've had a couple out-of-body experiences, but I had no control over them. I had actually 3 altogether. But, you know, they just happened. But it'd be something to be able to leave the body at will. Now, astral projection, is that what you do? Do you leave? You actually leave?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm not at the point where I can do it at will. But if I, allow enough time, I have them pretty regularly, 3-4 times a month, and more if I really buckle down and do the meditations.
Yeah.
But anyone can do this, and I'm glad you mentioned that you've had, a couple yourself, because most people will report having at least one out-of-body type experience. And if you're remembering, say, flying dreams, those are half-remembered OBEs, almost certainly. Because we're all doing this every night. You can absolutely learn what it's like to go to the other side.
I remember one dream that stands out. I'll never forget it. I was flying, and I don't like heights, so I wasn't afraid though. I mean, I was totally in control, and it was so great, flying over cities, just looking at everything, and it was unbelievable. I remember in the dream saying, "Man, this is how Superman feels," right? And that dream, I'll never forget it. It just stands out. So you're saying that's probably, probably out of body thing then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be something.
Again, we're all doing this every night. So the trick is really remembering it. It's
That
as safe
is
as
the
sleeping.
trick.
People are like, oh, this is scary. I could get possessed. No. You have the silver cord, which always draws you back to your body. All these reports of getting lost or locked out or going too far or getting possessed. I couldn't find anything in the literature to support that. And I've got every book I can get my hands on.
So then, with that being said, what's your thoughts on people who claim that to have walk-ins?
I am skeptical.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is going on here, because I've got a whole shelf on multiple personalities. And,
yeah.
The mind is not what people think it is in terms of personality and identity. That's not our true self. Our true self is our consciousness, the part of us that observes and experiences. But our minds are fractured and compartmentalized, and particularly those who undergo trauma or who dissociate. So what's happening in a lot of these cases is exactly that. I think this is what a lot of channeling is, to be perfectly frank, is people absolutely accessing what we would call the subconscious. I think that even itself is a misnomer. I call it the super consciousness. But yeah, you're basically accessing another part of yourself, I think, in a number of these cases. Mediumship is absolutely real. So you can communicate with spirits and other entities, but no, I don't think that you can be replaced.
Yeah, I had a woman on once, and she claimed that she was a walking ET, that somebody had left their body and she decided to take it over.
Yeah, I think what's going on there is it's more of a past life thing, or suddenly remembering that your greater identity, if you will.
Well, when I went to her page, she came on a second time, and I went to her Facebook page while we were on the air, and she was on there talking to somebody, saying, "I think the host is stoned," and da da da. You know. So I told her, I said, "I think you think I'm stoned? You're an ET that walked in someone else's body, and I'm the one smoking reefer."
Oh my God.
Yeah, she just but she's she apologized after. She says, "Oh no, I get high myself." It's like, oh, okay, that's probably what's going on then. Too many edibles. I don't
Oh my God.
But I don't know. The walking thing had never set well with me. You leave your body. I mean, it's not like a house. Like somebody could come in. What do they call them? What are those people? They come in the house and they don't leave. The name slips my. Anyways, they don't belong there, but they come.
Uninvited guests.
Yeah, well, yeah, basically, that's what they are. And I don't think you could do that with the body. You'd have to disconnect the cord, right?
Exactly.
I don't know how that happens. That's only death, right?
No, the astral body is not, I wouldn't think of it even as being separate from you. It's part of your physical organism. Your entityhood is composed of a physical body and an etheric, an astral, and that's just a way of describing it. It's really all one thing that's integrated into each other. So in a way, the term astral projection is a misnomer, because you're projecting your soul, if you will, down into a physical body, and you're there for just a short time here on the third dimension. You go back to your real home.
Yeah,
You're not
squatters.
really leaving your body when you go out of body. It just feels like that. That's how we perceive it. But what you're really doing is moving your awareness into who you really are.
That's the word I was looking for. Squatters. Thank you, Taylor. Walking. It just kind of reminds me of a squatter. They just come in, they have fake lease, and just say, "Oh, no, I'm going to stay, and I ain't going to pay no rent." But anyways, let me give you another question here. What's the youngest credible witness you've ever interviewed?
Yeah, I'm very careful when I'm interviewing children. I will only do it in the presence of their adult parents.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. But I have a couple of times. And certainly in my own family, I had a couple of nephews who had encounters when they were under 10 years old. And I talked to them about it. And one saw a humanoid. But I did interview a very young child whose father called me up and said, "My son saw something. Would you talk to him?" And I said, I will if you stay on the line. This child was such a delight. He described, in very simple terms, how he saw this glowing object come over his head. And so I had him give a very thorough description to the extent that he was able to. And then, I'm not going to talk down to anyone just because you're young. I'm going to ask you the hard questions. And I told him, "How do you know this wasn't a helicopter?" And he said, "It made no noise." And I'm like, well, sometimes things can be far away and you don't hear it. How close do you think it was? He's like, "Oh, it was very close." He was describing all the things I look for. He had it turned at right angles and so forth. If it looks strange, if it moves strange, if it sounds strange, and so forth, what people call the observables. It darted off at insane speed. So yeah, he must have been maybe, 7. So yeah, I've interviewed some very young people. Another lady from Canada, she called me because her child was having experiences and she wanted me to talk to her child. And again, I had that rule: as long as you stay on the line.
Yeah. So here's another one. This is from Kenny. He says, "Have any of your investigations ever ended with a conventional explanation that surprised you?"
Yes. and it certainly surprised the witnesses, and they weren't happy. I kind of suspected that something was going on when this couple contacted me and said, "We're seeing UFOs almost nightly." I'm like, "Wow," and they were not too far from where I lived. So I'm like, "Well, when is this stuff showing up?" And they're like, "Well, usually around 9 or 10 o'clock." And so I went to their house earlier than that, and I got a big report of these anomalous lights that are hovering in the sky and then disappearing. I thought, okay, well, this sounds like it might be something really amazing. And I had them point out to me where they're seeing this stuff. And we waited, and I saw one, and I'm like, uh-oh. I think I know what this is, because I've seen this effect where a plane comes right towards you, and then it turns, and its landing light disappears, and you really can't even see its wing lights because it's pretty far away. And so I drove away from their home, and I went several streets. This was in the mountains. I went up above their home, a couple of thousand feet, and I saw, yep, this was a plane that was on a regular flight path, and it looks real bright when you're looking at it. It's almost, much bigger than Venus. Not quite the moon, but real bright. And just hovering there, and you can't hear a darn thing. But then it turns, and I can see that, oh yeah, this was in fact a plane, a jet. I went back to them, I think it was the next day, and they didn't believe me, is what it amounted to. They're like, "Oh, well, you're just trying to debunk." I'm like, no, really not. A few times I've interviewed people, and it became clear to me that they were having mental issues.
Oh, yeah.
And one time, this was so funny to me. I'm interviewing this guy, great witness. He's describing how he and his 6 friends were at Leo Carrillo Beach, and this glowing object covered with colored lights came zooming up from the water side and right up to the beach and hovered there real low and zoomed off. So I started asking him all the hard questions, like, "Were you guys drinking?" He's like, "Well, yeah, we were drinking, and we were actually taking hallucinogenics too." I'm like, "Oh,
well, that ruins it."
That ruined it. I actually still think maybe that was a real sighting, but I can't use it. Because no, you're on hallucinogenics.
Yeah, because the skeptics will eat you up. They'll say, "Oh yeah, they're on hallucinogenics." Let's believe that. But
so and some people are just clear hoaxers. So that didn't really surprise me. But every now and then that happens.
I believe that people are on these hallucinogenics. Sometimes they can see into other dimensions, other spectrums of light, there's maybe something it does to the brain. I don't know, but I'm telling you, a long time ago, I had my spill, and I can tell you that it taught me that everything's alive. It's just, you can see the energy and everything. It's just, I don't know.
Well, we know the Native Americans did stuff like peyote and mescaline. I never have. I've interviewed some people, and it was pretty interesting. And I know there's a whole movement towards DMT and ayahuasca, and I don't recommend it.
Not for me. Look, when I was a young guy, I had my fun. No more. Those days, I have the memories. That's all I need.
No, these are subjective experiences, and this is my assessment. And if someone wants to take this path, that's up to them. I don't recommend it. I think it's a subjective experience, and I don't think you're contacting mantids, which is what people are all talking about. I think it's DMT. But no, I don't recommend it.
And I heard people who take that ayahuasca that afterwards they get really sick and throw up, and who enjoys that?
Yeah, there's no need to do this stuff anyway, because if you do meditation and you really want to have some unusual mystical experiences, you absolutely can. And it's far more reliable, and it's far better, I think, having interviewed a lot of people who, I took some hallucinogenics and I was really tall, or my foot, my hand changed size. That's what one kid told me. It's like, my fingers started hopping up and down. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound like any fun to me.
So I bet everything was hopping up and down. All right, here's one more from another listener, Cheryl. She says, do you think disclosure is getting closer, or are we still years away from learning the full truth?
Both. We're taking baby steps, and I'm encouraged by it, but we're years away. And having been in this field for so long and knowing how terrible these guys are, the folks behind the cover-up, they're heinous. They're still lying. I don't trust them until and unless they're willing to admit to the Malmstrom incident in Montana, where they shut down the missiles.
Yeah.
Or the Eisenhower meeting of 1954. Or Roswell. Or the Capitol flyover.
Well, you
or
know,
100 other cases that we know about that have real good evidence. Shut up. We don't need lying liars to tell us what we know is true. No, I don't think they will ever be truthful or transparent voluntarily. I'll underline that. Something could force them to play their hand, but it would be a major event of some kind.
I've been saying right along, no matter how you feel about the guy, I think that Trump is our best chance at getting truth from about this UFO thing. You know, because he's just the kind of character to just keep releasing. You know, there's bigger stuff I want to know about. I wish he'd release that, like the Roswell stuff. I want to know. You know, I don't want it blacked out. I want to know exactly what happened there, and you know, and I think we do know exactly what happened. But you know, I've talked to Stanton Freeman a million times in the past, and you know, he's pretty convinced that there was bodies and UFO crashed, and you know, and then there was another one that crashed. Besides just the Roswell one, there was another one supposed to have crashed. I don't know, so many miles away from the Roswell. So there was actually two crashes.
That's what I understand too. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Well, listen, Preston, I want to give you the floor to get out anything else that you'd like. We didn't really talk much about your series, but we did talk. But yeah, let people know where they can get it, your podcast, and all that good stuff, please. And thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, too. You can find my books on Amazon or other online retailers. Check out my YouTube channel. Put all my research out there. People who don't have the time or the money to buy books and sit down and read them.
Yeah.
I am all over social media if you want to reach out to me. I try to be very responsive. I'm enormously busy right now, so please be patient. But yeah, I truly appreciate you having me on the channel. I will push my own podcast if I might.
Yeah, please.
The Light Gate, which airs live each Monday evening from 8 to 10. I co-host it with contactee Dolly Saffron. We have a good time bringing on guests who are experiencers or researchers or what have you. And yeah, it's an important subject. I'm so glad you're doing this work, Mike. People need resources and information on this subject. And it's time. It's a new era for humanity.
Yes, sir.
People are waking up.
Yeah, and you too. I'm glad you've put a lot of years into it, and I appreciate it. And you're 8 to 10. That's perfect. So you go and check you out from 8 to 10 on Monday. Then from 10 to midnight, they can come check me out.
Perfect.
Yeah, we got it. We're covering the whole spectrum. Well, listen, Preston, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy 4th to you, and stay safe until we talk again. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right, folks, there he goes, Preston Dennett. He is one of a kind. Love talking to him. He's a regular. I always like to bring him back. He's real, He's not making up wild stories for you. He's just telling you where his research is taking him, and I appreciate it. Yeah, David, ask about the crop circles, the 2:30, 32 event. Sorry, David, I just seen this. I'm telling you, folks, I need some donations. I got to get 2 more screens. I'm down 2 screens, and that's why I can't see everything. I can't flip back and forth. Usually I have 4 screens, and I got stuff on all of them, like the chat room on one. I'll have the phone lines on another one, and this way, now the phone lines are under something else, so I have to move stuff to see it. That's why I miss calls and miss questions, and I need them screens. Anyways, so 250 years. It don't seem like a long time, but boy, you look back at the history, and a lot has happened, hasn't it? And man, we got to hold on to it for another 250 years. It's not going to be easy because there's evil forces out there that want to take it away. They don't like it. They don't like us being free and freedom of speech or any of that stuff. So you got to be careful. But hey, the website is MikeVara.com. Go on over, become a late nighter, be informed, inform others, and listen. We got the website coming up next month. I've got some bills coming up this month for the show, for the network, for the radio station. And so we could use a little help. 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever, couple dollars, hit the donate button. I appreciate it. And so I thought it would be fitting to go out tonight with a song that I put together. It's called 250 Strong. So let's do that. I want to thank each and every one of you, wherever it is you may be, around the globe, in the chat room, on another planet, or on the other side. What an incredible conversation tonight with Preston Dennett. Whether you're a believer, a skeptic, or somewhere in between, one thing is clear. People from every corner of the world continue to report experiences they simply cannot explain. Maybe the next incredible UFO case won't happen in a famous location. Maybe it'll happen in your hometown. A huge thank you to Preston for spending part of his evening with us and for continuing to document these fascinating reports that challenge what we think we know about our reality. And thank all of you for listening, writing in, and being part of another unforgettable night here on Late Night in the Midlands. If you missed any portion of tonight's broadcast, be sure to catch the archives, because it's right there. Be on YouTube, Rumble, and eventually I get it up on the website too. But anyways, until next time, keep your eyes posted to the sky, because you never know what you might see. Keep your ears posted to this broadcast, because you never know what you might learn. Good night, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy. Good night. I'll be back with you Monday.
50 years of old glory flying high, from sea to shining sea beneath these freedom skies. We built these roads and railways, reached up to touch the stars, from the family farm to Main Street bars. We stood together through the fire, we stood through every storm. The eagle's still a-soaring, America's still strong. Raise a toast to every hometown, every heartbeat, every small town, every dream that found its wings, every freedom that this country brings. Here's to Alabama, Alaska, Arizona too, Arkansas, California, Colorado, pulling through, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida in the sun, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, we're 50 states as one. Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky's banner, Louisiana, Maine stand tall, Maryland answers freedom's call, Massachusetts, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota's northern wind, Mississippi, Missouri pride, Montana's mountains stand beside. Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire and New Jersey, New Mexico, New York lights, North Carolina shining bright, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma's country soul, Oregon and Pennsylvania, Rhode Island never fades away. South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee keeps rolling over. Texas big and proud and free, Utah reaching destiny. Vermont, Virginia, Washington forever green. West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming wild and free. We're 50 stars on one old flag, still the greatest story ever had. 250 loud and strong, God bless America all day long. We put a man upon the moon and brought him safely home. Built the greatest fighting force the whole world's ever known. From doctors healing broken hearts to factories building every part. The farmers feed the world each day. The truckers keep us on highway. Teachers, builders, cops, and fire keep this nation climbing higher. Here's to every soldier standing watch tonight, every sailor sailing through the darkest night, every Marine who never backs away, every airman guarding freedom every day, every Coast Guardsman on the sea, every guardian keeping watch for you and me, to every veteran who paid the cost. We'll never forget what freedom costs. From Lexington to Gettysburg, Normandy, the mountains of Afghanistan, the deserts of Iraq, every generation answered when America called. Sing it loud from every porch, every church and every torch, every city, every county, every mountain, every valley, where the dream that never died, with Old Glory as our guide, still believing, still standing tall. There's room for one and room for all. So raise your glass to those before, who opened freedom's mighty door. For our children yet unborn, we'll keep this land forever strong. 250 years we've stood, through bad and through the good. We'll keep this promise loud and clear. America, we're still here. So if you hear that old flag waving in a summer breeze somewhere, take your hat off, hand on your heart, say a little thankful prayer. Because freedom isn't free, never has been, never will be. God bless our servicemen, God bless our servicewomen, God bless the United States. And here's to the next 250 years.